Pretty windy actually this morning. Doesn't look windy, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm wearing a different jacket and I can feel the cold air a bit more on me. The full sense of whatever the fucking word is. I'm actually pissed off today, really fucking pissed off, because watched the House of Commons last night and just basically what that done is show me how many fucking traitors are in our government, how many treasonous fucking traitors there are that voted against the people. And I can see it boiling up now. I can see there's going to be, sooner or later, there's going to be a people's revolt, a civil war. Something's brewing. Do you know what I mean? Something's going to happen soon. I can just feel it, because people are going to, you know what I mean? The Brexiteers have been sort of like sitting there, biding their time, waiting, you know, giving the governments the benefits of the doubt, you know what I mean, just to see how they handle it. And it just, you know, it just shows how what deceiving bastards they are, the Ramonas. What deceiving fuckers they are, that they won't honour the will of the people, or they won't honour the democratic vote of 2016, and all they're doing is they're just making themselves be more hated as the weeks go by. Even the you know, the members of the Tory party, the Conservative party that were sacked the other day, good fucking riddance to them being sacked. The whole bunch of traitors. It just goes to show, doesn't it? It just goes to show how many fucking traitors there are that were in that Conservative party. So yeah, I'm a little bit pissed off, and I'm sure a lot of other people are pretty pissed off as well watching that. That fucking Jeremy Corbyn, I can't stand listening to that fucking bloke's voice and his bunch of fucking idiots that sit behind him. Winds me up, I tell ya. We had a fucking vote in 2016. It's 2019 now, 3 years later, and they still haven't honoured it. They're fucking about, pouncing about, trying to delay it. Well, they're not trying to delay it, they're just trying to block it. That's all it is. You can see that clear as fucking day now. I don't want to honour nobody's fucking democratic vote. And Boris Johnson is the only one really that has actually had the front to start doing something about it. And all they've done is just fucking shun him every step of the way. And that's what this fucking country's about, isn't it, really? Politicians, career politicians that don't give a fucking monkey about the people that their constituents, don't give a fucking toss about us. It's all about their fucking wage packets and how fucking they can't fucking handle a little bit of grief that they got to sort out. They want everything handed to them on a plate by the EU. This is how you do that. This is how you do this. You know what I mean? They ain't got the fucking brains to work it out for themselves. so I've had to come out. I've had to come out for a ride on my bike to try and calm down. And it's probably had the reverse effect, really. It's just getting me more and more fucking angry watching the fucking twats in fucking Parliament. What's this fucking idiot doing over there? Yeah, she's moved over now. You know, I think I should go and put a warmer coat on. I thought it was a nice day today. Anyway, I reckon it's going to be a people's revolt. I reckon a civil war is looming, or the people are going to descend on the House of Commons and oust all the treasonous traitors that are in there. I think it's out of order, really. I think it's totally out of order. They've gone against the people like that. This new bill they voted in, where it gives the power to the EU, I think they should have another vote, because I'm sure they didn't know what they was voting about. Oh, we need to do a plug chop on this bike. I've done it yesterday. I was quite amazed, really, at the decency of how the plug looked. Yeah, back to bikes, by the way. Yeah, when I first messed around with the carbs, well, before I messed around with the carbs, the plugs were black all over, and it was they was already starting to foul. And after I changed the slides from 2.5s to 3s, so you got a leaner cutaway in a slide. Moved the needle positions to the centres out of the five positions. It's the 2A1 needles I've got in here, the 2A1 setup. I've done that and I took it for a spin, and I had a quick look at the plugs yesterday. They was clean as a fucking whistle. No soot on them at all. Nothing. No carbon. Nothing. So I'm going to I'll show you that when I go back. Maybe it's, I don't know. Can't be running too lean now because it just feels just right now at the moment. I wish this bike could run as nice as this with those loud pipes on, but every time I put those loud pipes on, I can never ever, in all my experience of setting up carbs and this, that and the other, I can never ever get this bike to run right. I mean, since I put these carbs on and tune the carb up, since I put these silencers on and tune the carb up, there's no dead spot in the throttle or nothing. It's just exactly how it should be. So I think I'll try some iridium plugs in this. I'll drive around a little bit so I can get this bike really warmed up like hot, do you know what I mean? So hey, on the carbs, you know there's a link pipe between the two carbs on these Triumphs. Underneath the two manifolds is a bit of tube which links the two tubes together. Well, you can't use the Gunson colour tune while that's linked together, so you have to make up a little pipe with a or two plugs so you can block them that passageway off, so you can do your carbs separately. So I've done that yesterday as well. I mean on the spec of these Amel Mark II carbs, it's like 1.5 turns out, just, you know, to sort of like factory settings of 1.5 turns out, and I had that yesterday at 1.5 turns out, and it was I had a nice yellow spark, yellow firing, which is rubbish really. It needs to be sort of like a sky blue colour. So I had to adjust them. Can't remember which way I adjusted them now. I think I adjusted them out a little bit. Yeah, I think I adjusted them out a little bit more. So it's like 2 to 2.25 turns out, which got me the nice blue, you know, the nice blue spark on either pot. But it was only like maybe 1/8 of a turn either way, which would really change the difference. So it's quite precise really, do you know what I mean, to get these carbs tuned up exactly. And now they have, and it just feels nice. What I need to do really is get the because what I haven't done is I haven't synced them really. I've only syncing them manually really. It's just adjusting the cables so they've got both exactly the same sort of like slacking the cables on top of the carbs. But you know, all carbs are different, aren't they? So although they're pretty much synced up, they're not perfect. But I need to get some bigger tubes because the inlets on these manifolds are a lot bigger than the ones of the pipes that I've got for the my sinking equipment. I was trying to think of all the new bits that I bought on this bike the other day when I was because I'm thinking of selling it really, and I need to do a video of all the of the bike front to back of all the new parts. So I've got a list at home somewhere, and I'm sure in my other video of the restoring this bike, at the end of that video there's a whole list of over 100 new parts that I put on this bike. So I mean this is what, a 1979 T140E, one of the last it was actually built in 78. The engine markings is March 1978, but it was registered in 79, so it was like one of the last to be built from that era, using parts I suppose of 78, 79 bikes, because it's got the older clocks and stuff like that. So with that in mind, and also from January the 1st of next year this bike could be tax and MOT exempt, so you know you never need to put tax or MOT on it. Like I say, it's over 100 new parts to it, engine parts, frame parts, all the brake parts more or less, everything. You know, the complete clutch nearly is new, 7-plate clutch fitted, the bearings, the cush drive, the primary chain, the stator, rotor, new oil pump and bits and pieces in there, new electronic ignition, all bearings, pads, loads and loads and loads of new parts that I put on this. So, but I don't know what I should really put it up for sale for. Because I was thinking, I mean, the prices of bikes are going down lately, so it's probably not a good time to sell it. Because what I'm after is a decent camper van. So what I want really to sell this for about 6,500 to 7,000. Oh yeah, so new barrels, pistons, rings, gudgeon pins, clips, studs and all that kind of stuff all around the head, new bolts, nuts and bolts everywhere. Loads of shit it's had on it. So, yeah, just wondering how much I could sell it for really. I took the old lever choke, you know, the push down lever choke, and put a cable operated choke on it. Much easier. So you can slow the choke, you know, you can slow it, or cold start as they call it, and you can slow it down a little bit when it's, you know, on the ones on the lever on the side of the car. If you press it down, start it up, and the bike revs its nuts off. But at least with the cable choke, you can slow it down. It doesn't need to stay on that long, really, just to get it started. Well, this go home and change my coat, I think. Take it out for another spin somewhere. Yeah, both of the wheels have had new stainless spokes. I laced both the wheels with stainless spokes, new bearings, all the studs that hold the discs on, they're all stainless, all new stainless ones. New ignition switch, all the Lucas indicators are new headlight, new front brake master. New coils, new all the old electrics, you know, the rectifier, regulator and the Zenith diode and all that. Removed all that and updated it with new digital stuff, you know, like regulator rectifier, and all the proper up-to-date stuff is on it. So, nothing wrong with the charging system. So new tyres. When did I put them on? 2 or 3 years ago. This bike's only done 14,500 miles. It had done 13,000 miles when I first got it. So I've only really done. I've done 1,600 miles, something like that, since I've had this bike. Hardly done any riding. I think that's the problem of having 5 bikes. It's because you know, having that many bikes, you never put any miles on any of them, because I'm always swapping around. Which one am I going to take out today or tomorrow or next week? So I hardly ever put any miles on them, really. Like this year, I reckon we've only done about probably less than a couple of 100 miles on our bikes this whole year so far. It's you know, up till September. And me, I like to I go to work and back on mine, which is like about a mile there and a mile back. That's about it really. So they don't hardly get any fucking mileage put on them. Anyway, I'm going to go and change my jacket because my arm's getting cold. And I'll show you in a minute with my new jacket, what it looks like. I see it on eBay. I thought it looked alright on eBay. I think it looks alright anyway, but it's more of a summer jacket really. It's it looks like a retro biker jacket. I had a fucking phase, didn't I, buying fucking leather jackets. Right, anyway, I'll be back in a sec. Let me sort this out. Here's my coat that I got off of eBay, 60 quid. Quite comfortable. It's pretty thin though. Alright for the summer, but not for winter riding, I don't think. Yeah, it's alright. Well, here we go. It's the the plugs after the tune-up, after the change the silence over to the cigar-shaped silencers. And these are the plugs which I had before the carb tune-up. So there's a difference there. The difference is the slide, the cutaway, going up half, from 2.5 to 3, and moving the clip in the centre of the needle, jet needle, and a bit of Gunson colour tuning, and I'd say that they look alright to me, didn't you? It was pretty cool to me.